I quit. Time seemed right.
That was bad. I apologize if it was worse on stream, but I could hear the breathing, which was not good.
So, after quitting, I got this new job, yeah? But every time my mind wandered, I thought about the game.
10 years without a single win will do that.
My first match last year was my big chance. But something else was on my mind. I couldn't focus.
Nice excuse.
Hey!
So, you want to win the next tournament? Go out with a bang. So, what's our goal?
I don't care how we do. Long as we play our best.
That's a terrible
If we
goal.
give it our all, I can walk away happy.
No. If I say, what's our goal? You say, victory! When you play in a blitzball tournament, you play to win.
Victory? You're serious?
Alright, time to put the camera back on for like 10 seconds.
Ah, the one from the sea.
Be on guard. There are fiends on the road today.
After surviving your run-in with Sin, it would be a shame if something happened now.
That wasn't
Who are
very
they?
far off either. It was about 10 seconds.
Huh? Cruise of what?
What, you forgot that?
We just met the Crusaders.
Hey, sorry. Don't worry about it. I'll help you out.
Well, 2 of them.
Cool. In return, come tournament time, I'll make sure we take the cup.
Oh. About the Crusaders, you can ask them yourself. They got a lodge in a village.
I saw a box over here. Maybe I was off. I guess it was that rock. Anywho, I'm gonna turn my camera on for about 5 more seconds and then we're gonna... Yeah,
Be safe,
camera's slightly too
They got any
far to the
food
right.
there?
We'll get you something over there.
Oh,
later.
there's a cat
Take
in
a
the
look
way.
around first.
Hi.
Let's see. The Crusaders' Lodge is over yonder. Luzu and Kata are usually there. All right. Over here.
Huh? What's up?
My gamepad is over my
You
microphone.
remember the prayer, right?
Isn't good. It needs to be under. I don't remember and I don't know any prayers.
Of course I'd never prayed before in my life. Not that he would know that.
You must have forgot or something. Here, I'll show you. Go ahead, you try.
Which we saw this at the beginning of the
Not
game.
bad.
If you were observant enough to notice
Okay,
that.
now go present yourself to the temple summoner.
Any blitzball player would know that prayer. It was the
Or
blitzball sign
to
for
make that
victory.
connection anyway. Because they did point it out pretty well. Because the little kid just sort of does it, and you might have dismissed it as just a custom. So now I finally get to run around the city without having to deal with cutscenes. There's a primer here in Besaid I wanted to check on before we continue. can also buy some potions. Which, we're gonna want to do. They're gonna make us go to the temple, like, that's what we gotta do before, Wacko will let us sleep. I think my clothing seems rather normal compared to yours, madam. I'm not holding my dress up with a thong, but that's just me. So that's Waka's house. So the reason I wanted to play this game right now was because of, I wanted to see if the PlayStation 2 would work. Because of my setup. We might not be coming back to this tomorrow right away because of, because I still have a game that's just sort of been sitting on the back burner. Forever. There it is.
Hey, you! You were attacked by Sin, right? Recently, was it?
I think so.
So, Sin can't be far, right? You're not hiding anything, are you?
Why would I?
If Sin's nearby, it'll attack the island for sure. But it hasn't. I wonder why.
I'm sorry. I really don't know anything. To tell the truth, I don't even know what the Crusaders are.
You're kidding, right?
Sin, the toxin. Gotta tell him who we are.
Yes, sir! The Crusaders are sworn to battle Sin. We have chapters throughout Spira, accepting all who wish to join our struggle. The hero Mihen formed the Crusaders 800 years ago as the Crimson Blaze.
He sounds so...
Later, our ranks grew and we called ourselves the Crusaders.
Cardboard cutout.
We've been fighting Sin ever since.
What? You've been
Which
fighting 800
fits
years
his
and you
role
still
of,
haven't
like,
beat it?
military ensign.
Well,
type.
we've steered Sin away from towns many times. And that's all we can do. Nobody's ever been able to defeat it. Our mission as Crusaders is to protect the temples, towns, villages, and people of Spira.
So
This
then
is a
whose job is it to
huge
defeat
plot
Sin?
dump, but it is
Is
optional,
Sin's
so it's
toxin really this bad, sir?
it's not a bad
It
plot
does seem
dump.
rather bad.
It's
We could just
fairly
tell you,
appropriate.
but I think it better for you to try and remember. Go pray at the temple. Perhaps Yevon will help you regain your memory.
This girl is going to be useful before we leave Besaid. So, let's walk around a little bit longer. Very useful, in fact, because it will mean a drastic increase of my damage output from here onward. Which is crazy to say that, but it's true. It can mean the difference of dying to the boss and killing a boss. We're gonna go into the temple because that's what they want me to do.
It was then, standing in that place. I began to realize how different this world was from my own.
This looks like it's coming out through his chest, even though it isn't. I'm not even gonna bring my camera up because, cutscene.
10 years have passed since Lord Braska became High Summoner. And finally, we receive a statue for our temple.
Well, what's a High Summoner?
What's a summoner?
I got
The
too close to
tutorial
Sin's,
island doesn't make
toxin.
my judgment on Titus any better.
It was funny hearing myself make the same excuse over and over. Funny, and a little sad.
The Summoners are practitioners of a sacred art, sworn
seems
to
like
protect the people of Yevon. Only a chosen few
every main
become summoners
protagonist
who
Square
call forth
made
entities of great power, the Aeons.
during this time frame.
The
Titus,
Aeons hear our
Vaughn,
prayers and come down to us.
Sora,
They are the blessing of Yevon.
they all suffer
So
from
what he
this,
meant
don't know anything.
was that we should respect some kind of great
syndrome.
man, or something like that, I figured.
Alright. Sora and Vaughn are really bad at it too, but Vaughn has another reason entirely to hate him. He's just like Titus, but amped to the max with the reckless, obnoxious sections of his personality. Which can be fine, but I mean, those parts aren't what kill Titus, but well, the obnoxious sections help a lot. But they're both really childish in how they're obnoxious, which don't fit the stories. Not with that extreme character progression, which is the one redeeming quality Titus had, is by the end of the game he starts to really change from this kid into the adult he's supposed to be.
Sorry, man. No, take a nap.
You could at least go see how they are doing.
We can't interfere. It's a rule.
But it's been nearly.
Whoa, what the fuck? My camera just
But
decided
it's been
no.
nearly.
It's been nearly a day already.
Perhaps you could go look for us.
People are searching for him now.
Thank you.
Who cares whether it comes
Which I was moving it for the sake of the subtitles.
Fine, let him. Do you hate him so? But if he dies, you'll never be able to tell him how much you hate him.
I don't know if it'll sit there well though, because I don't remember how the combat works. I need to set it wherever it fits for the combat.
Waka?
So we'll see. It's really easy to see how bad my screen is when the game is loading.
Is something wrong?
The summoner hasn't returned from the trial.
Eh?
Well, apprentice summoner, really.
Huh?
There's a room in there called the Cloister of Trials. Beyond is where the apprentice summoner prays.
So much plot dump.
If the prayer is heard, the apprentice becomes a fully
Some
fledged
of it's
summoner.
necessary,
Remember?
but
So
God.
someone is in there somewhere and they haven't come back out. Right, I got it.
A day's already gone by.
Is it particularly dangerous in there?
Sometimes, yes.
Why don't you go in and help?
There's already guardians in there. Besides, it's forbidden.
It's not really plot dump, it's setting dump.
Hey, but what if something happens? What if the summoner dies?
Our precepts must be obeyed.
Like I care.
Because it's setting the rules of Yevon, Cloister of Trials, the summoners, the high summoners, etc.,
Maybe
etc.,
this
etc.,
wasn't
etc.,
such a good
etc.
idea after all.
It's trying to set the scene, the tone, which makes sense. This is our tutorial temple. None of them are particularly difficult. Besaid is annoying no matter unless you've memorized it, but none of them are particularly difficult except for an optional dungeon, which not Besaid, Bevel. Bevel's annoying. Besaid's not annoying. Besaid's annoying in the sense that it's the tutorial dungeon, but that's about it. I am also going to do the optional parts of each dungeon, which this one's not that bad, but I need them to get one of the optional dungeons done. In order to finish an optional dungeon, I have to finish all the optionals in the mandatory dungeons. So for this one, we just stick the destruction sphere into this recess, and then it blows up that wall. Which you'd guess that after a while, if it's even a while, because it's the only recess that there are only 3 recesses that make sense. The one at the very beginning, the one in the door, and this one. because this one doesn't make sense. Since the door isn't connected to anything, that one doesn't make sense. You could try the one at the door at the beginning, but it has nothing connected to it, so that doesn't make sense. So this is the only one that actually makes sense. This one doesn't make sense, and you'll see why. Basically, there's nothing in here. Once you move this here, we're done. And you can assume that because there's nothing left to do. And it told us to move the pedestal, since this is a tutorial thing.
Hey! It's gotten into you. Hey, it's okay. Only
More
summoners,
cutscene.
apprentice summoners, and their guardians can enter here. It's a tradition, very important.
So what about you?
Me? I'm a guardian.
A guardian?
No, it's the first dungeon, you might not realize that, but you might also not know the destruction spheres are that useful.
Summoners go on a pilgrimage to pray at every temple in Spira. Guardians
Ignore
protect
the glitch there.
The guardian's in there now. One of them's got a sure fuse, and who knows what the other's thinking. Well, now that we've come this far, might as well go all the way.
This is also a
What are
big
you
plot
doing
dump,
here?
but it's an
think
appropriate
we'd
and
be able to
necessary
handle it.
one that isn't that
it's,
huge.
It's just... See, I told you she gets mad.
But a lot of the plot dumps usually get handled by our new character here.
Is the summoner all right?
Who are you?
Our over-the-top belt mistress, Lulu. You may have noticed when they introduced her, she has a lot of belts. We also have Kimari, and the last to be introduced. Our secondary protagonist, Yuna. Which, your whole party should be considered as a protagonist in the Final Fantasy series, but there's always one who's like the main guy, or the main female, in the case of Final Fantasy 6 and 13, which
I've done it. I have become a
should be more often. In 10 too,
Man, was I
because
surprised.
Titus doesn't
And here I was
exist
thinking
as a
summoners were
playable
all
character.
geezers.
We're gonna have a short, a 10-2 isn't really part of the main series. It's a spin-off of a section of the main series, kind of like Dirge of Cerberus or Crisis Core.
What? Ow!
Wait till you see this.
I can't see anything.
Ready?
Okay.
Okay, now I know how to get energy ray, which I
I've
knew
never seen anything
I can
like it
get
in my
it,
life.
and I would
Sure,
get it. I
it
just
was a
didn't
little
know the
scary,
timing for it.
But still, I could feel a strange kind of gentleness
So I should be able to
coming
get it.
from it. I remember
Energy ray,
that
energy
night,
blast.
we talked for the first time. I didn't know it then, but after that night, everything changed.
And we're talking about Veil
For
Force
everyone.
second limit, which
For me.
he's the only one who has one.
Let me introduce you to the team. This guy here wants into the tournament so bad, I let him on the team. His memory's a little fuzzy, so don't mind him if he says anything odd. Come on, say hi.
Fuck.
Hi guys. So what's our goal?
To do our best!
That sounds so
we got
nasty.
a new goal now. Our new goal is victory. To win every match, defeat every opposing team, to bring the Crystal Cup back to our island. That's all we need to do to win. Easy, huh?
To do our best. Oh my god.
Victory!
Victory! Victory! Victory! Victory! Victory! Victory! Victory! Victory!